What's up, everybody? It's Louie back here again, about to break down UFC Vegas 30. Can you believe it? We've already had 30 shows in the UFC Vegas Apex Center. It's been a great year for fights, and we got a fun main event here. Real quick to recap last weekend, I went 4-3. Not great, but at least I finally got a winning record. Barely, I'm on the right track. My biggest takeaway was Alexa Kmore, not worth minus 265. I didn't think the guy he was fighting was really that good, so I figured he'd have to win. Well, guess what? I was wrong, and he lost. And new rule I made up, there's just some people you never lay minus 265 on. And also, it doesn't matter how bad you think their opponent is. If that person isn't worth minus 265, don't bet them. Take the risk, because you got all the value on your side. Anyway, UFC Vegas 30, we got a really fun card here. We got Cyril Gane taking on Alexander Volkov. This is a big spot for heavyweight. The winner of this fight is either going to get a title shot or is either going to be a #1 contender spot. So, it's a pretty big card. And then we get a break next weekend. And then we got Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 2. And it's going to be madness. So, let's get through this card. Let's get all these fights predictions correct, and let's win some money, baby. The main event of the prelims, we got a fun scrap at light heavyweight, 205 pounds. We got Kennedy Nzechukwu taking on Danielle Marquez. Nzechukwu, his last fight, he took on Carlos Ulberg, the teammate of Israel Adesanya. And in that fight, he kept his hands on his head like this and kept moving forward and kept beating shots. And you're like, what the hell are you doing? But it actually worked out for him because he won. Anyway, and also Ulberg was able to grab his hands, just kick him in the legs, and the leg kicks were getting pretty bad, but Nzechukwu was able to get the job done before it took too big of an effect. In the first round, he would stalk forward, and then he'd eat body kicks and combos, and then he ate a head kick. He gets teed off on the fence, and then he gets hit with knees to bodies and hooks and uppercuts, etc. He stalks forward, but he eats straight shots and body kicks. He presses to the fence and lands combinations. He presses forward and he gets hit, but then he starts landing 1-2 of his own, and then he lands a right hook when he stalks forward, and then he's able to rock Ulberg with a left hook a little bit as Ulberg's skirting along the outside of the fence. He caught him on his exit. However, he eats a body shot against the fence, and he eats a flurry to the head, but he lands a couple left hooks as Ulberg stops throwing as he backs up to reload. He's able to land that powerful left hook of his, and then he presses forward and lands a head kick. And then in the second round, he keeps his hands high and he moves forward and he eats shots, but he's able to block most of them. And he's able to land a left hook and then some straight shots to get into a firefight. He lands his left hooks, multiple of them, and then he presses him to the fence and he lands a counter right uppercut as Ulberg throws and just knocks him the hell out. It was awesome. You know, he's basically a punching bag for the first round, but he's extremely durable. And he kept his hands up. He got hit, but he kept his hands up. So, you know, he just let Ulberg tire himself out. And it worked out for him. And then Danielle Marquez, his last fight, he took on Mike Rodriguez. In the first round of that fight, he presses forward and he's able to get the high single relatively quickly. And then he gets into full guard. And, you know, just general ground and pound, nothing crazy. He's able to keep the clinch to the fence. And then he's able to get him back down with the body lock. And then the second round, he shoots for the high single. He's too far out. He eats uppercut for his troubles. But then he finally gets the high single into half guard. And then he's able to transition to full mount. And then he's able to get back control. And then he's able to get a rear naked choke position, sink it in, and get the rear naked choke submission with only seconds left. But, you know, his striking didn't really look that great. He just kind of waited the whole time. Rodriguez didn't really press forward, but Marquez just kind of waited for his opportunity to get the high single. Marquez is plus 102, and Nzechukwu is minus 125. And Nzechukwu hits extremely hard. His last fight, he showed his takedown defense was a few years ago, but it was decent from what I've seen. And, you know, I think Marquez might tire himself out trying to get that takedown. If Nzechukwu can stop the first two, I think he'll be okay. Hits really hard. I think, you know, Marquez eats shots trying to get the takedown. I think Nzechukwu is going to be able to crack him. Not too bad of a price. My pick here is Kennedy Nzechukwu. Fight on the main card, got a fun scrap at men's lightweight, 155 pounds. Got Renato Moicano taking on Herbert. Moicano, his last fight, he took on Rafael Fiziev, who I believe is a rising star in the division. In the first round, he's able to stalk forward, but he eats a leg kick to the body. He pumps a jab as Fiziev moves forward. He gets hit with the leg kick and then a right cross body kick, but he moves forward and lands a straight right and then an uppercut. He lands a straight right, and then a jab, and then a right cross, and then he shoots a double leg, but it's stopped by Fiziev, and then Fiziev's able to blitz forward, and he lands a left hook to the body, and then a right cross, and then a left hook, and then it knocks him the fuck out, and it is what it is. Pretty furious from Moicano, but he got countered, and got put out. And then his fight before they took on Damir Hadzovic, pretty quick one. He's able to get the body lock takedown into full guard, then get back control, then he's able to pass his legs and get into the rear naked choke position, sinks in the body triangle and gets a quick submission. And then Jai Herbert, his last fight, he took on Francisco Trinaldo. In the first round, he's able to move forward and he pumps his jab. He gets hit to the body as he's bouncing forward. He gets clinched to the fence and taken down into half guard, but he's able to get to his feet. But then he gets taken down again with the body lock. However, he uses the underhook to get up to his feet up against the fence. And then he breaks free. He's able to land knees of the body and then the head. And then he gets his own body lock takedown at the end of the round. Then the second round, he's able to get the knockdown with the straight right pretty early on in the round. And then he gets to back control and lands some nice ground and pound from behind. He lands a flurry as Trinaldo gets back up to his feet. However, he gets hit with straight shots as he's moving forward. But he's able to rock Trinaldo with a 1-2. And then he lands a knee to the head with the tie clinch. And then in the third round, he's bouncing around and he's pumping his jab. He gets hit with the straight right, rushing forward, however, and then he gets knocked out with the overhand right whenever he's moving in for a jab. And that overhand right came out of nowhere. Francisco Trinaldo has weird power like that. Jai Herbert was running the whole fight. He looked really good. He just really got caught a little too anxious and just got knocked the hell out. Take a look at the betting line. Jai Herbert plus 195. Renato Moicano minus 250. You know, Moicano just got knocked the fuck out. Jai Herbert got knocked the fuck out, but I really like what I saw out of Jai Herbert. And you take into consideration the betting line, is Renato Moicano worth minus 250? I really don't think so. I think Jai Herbert shows a lot of promise. And, you know, he might not be the better fighter, but for the price, you know, I think you got to roll with him. Plus 200, basically. My pick here is Jai Herbert. On the main card, we got a really fun scrap, 170 pounds. Tim Means taking on Nicholas Dalby, two veterans going at it. Tim Means took on Mike Perry's last fight. First round, he's able to stay outside and move back and pump his jab. He gets taken down with the double on the fence and then the full guard. Perry's able to get the back control, sinks in a deeper naked choke, but Means is able to fight it off. And he's able to get to his feet. He pumps a jab and he stalks forward. He gets hit with some hard body shots, but he lands a jab flurry up against the fence. In the second round, he stalks forward, lands a lot of jabs. He stuffs a clinch attempt. He's able to land his own counter uppercut as Perry throws his hook. He gets hit with the counter right as he throws his jab, and then he gets hit with a flurry. But however, he's landing his jab as Perry stalks throughout the round. He's able to land a lead elbow and land a triple jab. In the third round, he gets taken down briefly with a body lock against the fence, but he gets right back up. He lands body shots up against the fence. They're both trading shots at range, and Tim gets hit, but he also lands a lot of jabs on Perry, more than he gets hit. And then they're getting to a firefight. He gets hit with overhands to the body, but he's able to land short hooks in his jabs. And then he gets a clinch against the fence, and then he lands jabs as Perry's coming off the fence. He gets hit with the 1-2 as Perry's stalking, but they get into another firefight. He uses his push kick, and he's able to land uppercuts and slip under Perry's punches, so he looks pretty good. He's able to win firefights with Mike Perry. And then Nicholas Dalby, his last fight, he took on Daniel Rodriguez. Right away, he wobbled him with a straight right as D-Rod throws. He lands a head kick, and then he throws a leg kick steadily. He lands a leg kick and backs up from his jabs. He's circling the fence. He gets caught with the 1-2 and straight shots, however, but he gets countered to the body as he's throwing his jab, and he gets hit with the right hand up against the fence. And then second round, he gets clinched to the fence, but lands his right hook on the exit. He's able to shoot and get a clinch up against the fence. He lands a head kick, but he's countered with the combination. He lands a leg kick, but he gets countered with left hooks. He's able to shoot for a takedown and presses up to the fence. And then in the third round, he presses forward and is able to land jabs, but he gets hit with the short hooks and straight punches as he's entering. He throws a head kick and then lands a 1-2 on him, and then he presses forward and lands a head kick. He gets hit with the counter right as he's pressuring in, but then at the end, he's able to stuff a double leg attempt. And Nicholas Dalby and Rodriguez, that was a real controversial fight. You know, I really think Daniel Rodriguez won, but I'm not really sure. I watched it back, and then I thought Dalby won the second time, so I don't really know. But it was a close fight, but, you know, Rodriguez is decent, say what you want to say. I thought Dalby kept his wide stance. I just didn't think he was really active enough. I think Tim Means is going to be able to get in there and make it a dirty fight. I really liked how he looked against Perry, and, you know, he could take some punishment in the first round and come back. Dalby's plus 120, and Tim Means is minus 155. That's a good price. Tim Means coming off a big win over Mike Perry. Dalby, you know, not that impressive of a performance. My pick here is Tim Means. The main card got a fun one at 145 featherweight. Andre Fili taking on Daniel Pineda. Andre Fili, the last fight, took on Bryce Mitchell. In the first round, he gets taken down with a single of the half guard, but he gets to his feet, but then he's returned back down with a body lock. He uses overhook to get to his feet. Then he gets returned in a full mount. He's able to reverse and then stand up and avoids a triangle. But however, his knee is caught and he's taken back down again. In the second round, he eats a short left hook from Mitchell. He moves forward, pumps his jab, and uses underhooks to stuff a double attempt up against the fence. He lands a jab. Moving forward, he gets taken down with a double off of the fence into half guard. And Mitchell gets side control and lands some elbows. But Fili's able to kick off the fence and get back to his feet. He lands a head kick and then pancakes Mitchell as he goes in for a takedown, which was really nice. And then in the third round, he gets taken down with a double from space into full guard, but Mitchell gets half guard, and then Fili's able to bridge out and reverse the position, and then back on the feet, he eats a right hand as he's blocking a double fake, and then he gets taken down with a double, and then Mitchell gets full mount, but Fili's able to shake him back to full guard, and then he eats ground and pound. And then, you know, out of Fili, I saw, you know, Mitchell had some trouble taking him down toward the end of the round. You know, Mitchell could tear through people, and I think Fili looked decent, especially on the feet. He got the better of him on the feet, obviously. And then Daniel Pineda, his last fight, he took on Cub Swanson in the first round. He lands a heavy leg kicks, and then he exits. He eats some lunge jabs from Cub, however. He lands lunging power straight left from the open space. He slips after landing a leg kick into Cub and gets full guard. Cub just basically, you know, falls down, and Cub's able to get on top of him because Pineda just slips after a kick, one of those stupid things that happens. However, he attempts a decent armbar, but then he gets able to get back to his feet with it. He lands a heavy leg kick, and then he's able to wobble Cub's leg. And then he almost gets a double leg takedown, but Cub is able to scramble out of it. He gets dropped with a straight right, standing at range with Cub, and then he gets teed off on with straight rights from Cub. And then in the second round, he gets hit with a straight right. As he's moving forward, he gets this hit single the leg in the air, but Cub's able to defend it. And then Cub's able to land an uppercut and a straight right off the fence. And then Pineda gets knocked the fuck out by Cub Swanson. Not great. And then before that, he took on Herbert Burns, where he had that big win, big upset. First round, he lands a leg kick, and then an overhand right, gets taken down, but gets right back to his feet. And then he gets a double off the fence. And then the second round, he gets hit with the straight right, and then he gets doubled immediately. But then he's able to get led up, and he gets his back taken from a standing position. And then his back's taken on the ground, but he's able to reverse the position into half guard, and then he's just able to go to work and land some elbows from ground and pound and get the crucifix and just TKO Herbert Burns. So, you know, Pineda is up and down, but bottom line, you can't be getting knocked out by Cub Swanson. Daniel Pineda plus 180 and Andre Fili minus 230. Really not super crazy about Fili. His fight before Mitchell, you know, was relatively closer than it needed to be. And, you know, minus 200 is a lot. You really got to think about it, and I've thought about it, and I don't want to lay money on somebody that just got knocked out by Cub Swanson. I think Fili's going to get the better of him on the feet. I don't like the price, but it is what it is. My pick here is Andre Fili. On the main card, you got a fun scrap at bantamweight, 135 pounds, the most electrifying division in the UFC. You got Ronnie Barcelo taking on Timur Valiev. Timur Valiev, his last fight, he fought at featherweight, so he's going to be coming down, I guess, or whatever. Who knows? Anyway, Ronnie Barcelo, his last fight, he took on Khalid Taha in the first round. He's able to stalk and land heavy leg kicks. He lands a flurry up against the fence, and then he's able to get the tie clinch and then land some knees to the head. He gets a body lock takedown on the fence. He gets back control in the rear naked choke position, but then he gets reversed. Back up on the feet, he comes forward and lands a nice 1-2. In the second round, he lands a short left hook as Taha moves forward. He's able to stalk forward and throw body kicks and push kicks. He rushes forward, throws hooks, lands leg kicks, but he eats a 1-2 for his trouble, but he was able to return a straight right, and then he lands a hard counter left hook. He takes body lock and lands a leg kick and a straight right. He lands a knee to the head, and then he lands a hard flurry. And in the third round, he rushes forward and lands a hard leg kicks and combinations to the head. He gets a double leg to back control and then into half guard. And then back up on the feet, he stalks forward and lands a jab. And then he's able to back up and land another jab. And then he lands a straight right. And then he's able to stuff the double leg attempt from Taha. Looked good, you know. Able to control and get to the ground. when he needed to. And, you know, it was a pretty fun fight. Barcelos, you know, threw a lot of shots, a lot of heavy shots, stayed in there. Taha's a tough opponent, but Barcelos kept throwing. And then Timur Valiev, his last fight he took on Martin Day. In the first round, he's able to come forward, land leg kicks. He shoots, and then he gets standing back control on the fence, and he's able to get a mat return. But Day's able to stay up on the feet, but Valiev's behind his back the whole time. And then he finally gets a takedown into full guard, but he doesn't do much damage, you know. Just whatever he has to do to stay on top. Then in the second round, he's able to jab to a single leg takedown into half guard, and then he lands some decent ground and pound, nothing crazy. And then he attempts a triangle at the end of the round, like 20 seconds left for God knows what reason, but whatever, you know, mixing it up a little bit. And then at the third round, he gets a double leg off of the jab into full guard. He gets back control, and the mat return doesn't do a ton with it, but he's able to control. Take a look at the betting line, plus 180 for Valiev. Barcelos is minus 230, and you know Barcelos has crazy punching power. His last fight was awesome. So I just don't think Barcelos should be that big of a favorite. Valiev, you know, he's the wrestler here, and you know the wrestler is gonna be plus money as long as he cannot get hit. I think he has a good shot at taking to the ground, or at least controlling Barcelos and squeaking out some rounds here. I really don't think Barcelos is worth minus 230. He looked awesome his last fight, but, you know, Valiev, you know, and then his fight before this, yeah, he got that crazy he got knocked out and that crazy upset, but he was dominating. Before that, just got a little overzealous. I think he learned his lesson. I think he might have overcorrected his last fight and not been super aggressive, but was able to control it. I think he's going to focus on control. Plus 180. My pick here is Timur Valiev. Main event in the main card, you got the big boys going at it. 265 heavyweight. Tanner Boser taking on Ovince St. Preux. Ovince St. Preux been flip-flopping. Last fight, he was at light heavyweight. He's back up at heavyweight. He was at heavyweight before that. It's kind of a mess with the weights, but whatever. Tanner Boser's last fight, he took on Ilir Latifi not that long ago. First round, he's able to stalk forward, throws a body kick and jab, and then an overhand. He's able to, but his kick is caught, and he gets taken down into half guard. However, he's able to shrimp and get back to his feet. He lands a jab, then he backs up. And then in the second round, I noticed he's able to draw reactions with his feints a lot. Ilir Latifi was biting on him pretty hard. Whenever he gets countered to the body as he's throwing an overhand, but then he lands a short right hook as Latifi rushes in. He gets hit with the uppercut as he's throwing a lunge right, however, and he lands a body kick and he pumps his jab, and then he lands a jab and then another short right hook, and then it kind of catches him in the eye. Tanner Boser punches people in the eye, I guess. And then, you know, Latifi falls on all fours, and then Boser runs over and delivers some pretty hard ground and pound trying to finish the fight, but Latifi gets back to his feet. And then he's able to stalk him and land a straight right. And then Latifi gets on a leg, but Boser's able to stuff it. And then in the third round, he gets taken down from space with a single to full guard, and Boser does nothing, and Latifi does nothing. But they don't separate it, and they let it go on. And it was painful to watch. And everybody says Boser was robbed. I'm not too sure, because the first round, you know, I think I could have given one to Latifi, to be honest. It was boring, but he controlled him. And, you know, Boser didn't show any sense of urgency to get up, in my opinion, so it is what it is. Ovince St. Preux's last fight, he took on Jamal Hill at light heavyweight, but whatever. In the first round, he's able to pump jabs sideways, like, stands completely sideways, like, perpendicular, and just like that, I guess. And then he's able to, but he gets countered with the 1-2 by Jamal, and then he jabs backing up, but then he gets hit with the hard 1-2 from Jamal. He stalks forward, he gets hit to the body, and then with the straight right. However, he lands a body kick, but it gets countered with a body shot and punch to the body by Jamal. He lands heavy leg kicks. He gets pressured to the fence with the flurry from Jamal. Then the second round, he stalks forward and throws a 1-2. However, he gets backed up to the fence with straight shots by Jamal. But he lands leg kicks as Jamal pressures. However, he gets hit with a head kick standing at range. He gets hit with the right cross standing at range, and then his kick is caught. And then he gets hit with the right cross, and he gets backed up to the fence, and then he gets hit with some combinations from Jamal. And then he gets hit with a flurry of hooks and knees to the body and to the head up against the fence. He gets TKO'd. Basically, Jamal just unloaded on him whatever he had. Just the pressure. Jamal was able to just pressure him. That was the thing. So, you take a look at the betting lines. Ovince St. Preux plus 140. Tanner Boser minus 180. I know I don't like people flip-flopping weights like Ovis did. And Ovis missed weight his last fight, but, you know, despite what happened with Paul Craig, Jamal Hill, I don't think his ring IQ is that great, but I think he's a good fighter. I think he'll do well in this division. And then Bozer's good, but he's just too tentative. And then you take a look at his Arlovsky fight, and he lost that fight just not doing enough. It was super close, but he just didn't do enough, and Bozer just showed no sense of urgency on the ground. I don't really know if St. Preux is going to be able to take him down, but St. Preux is a grizzled veteran. I think he's going to be able to jab him up and get out of the way. And I think he's going to be able to squeak out these rounds close here. He's plus money. My pick here is Ovis St. Preux. You got the big boys going at it again. Heavyweight, Cyril Gane taking on Alexander Volkov. Big implications for this fight. Whoever wins this is probably going to be next after Derek Lewis. If not, they'll get a number one contender spot and might fight Stipe. Who knows? Heavyweight's exciting right now, though. Who knows what John Jones is doing? I don't know. Anyway, Cyril Gane took on Rosenstrike his last fight in the first round. He bounces and lunges with the jab and then backs out. Jairzinho blitzes with hooks, but Cyril's able to duck and get out of range. He moves forward and throws a right cross off of Jairzinho's hook. He clinches on the fence and gets a single leg takedown. Doesn't do much with it, but he's able to get it to the ground. In the second round, he lands a jab and then a leg kick. He lands a jab as Jairzinho moves forward. He lands a jab and then shoots a high single to the fence, but he doesn't get it, but he's able to get the clinch. And then he's able to get the trip takedown. He gets standing rear naked choke for a second, but Rosenstrike's able to get out of it, but then he presses him up against the fence. And then he presses forward and lands a jab when they're back on their feet in the open. And then in the third round, he moves forward and lands a head kick. He lands an overhand right as Jairzinho throws. He gets hit with a 1-2, but then he evades, doesn't get hit completely. He's able to back up and get out of the way. He lands a 1-2 and then a leg kick. And then in the fourth round, he lunges forward and lands a jab. He lands a knee, but he gets hit with the hook. And then Jairzinho's moving forward. Cyril keeps landing his jab. He presses to the fence and then lands a jab after Jairzinho throws. More the same in the fifth round. Basically, Jairzinho would blitz forward and Gane be able to get out of the way and then jab him up and then press him up against the fence when he had to. So, pretty smart fight from Cyril because Rosenstrike has a touch of death. Alexander Volkov, last fight, took on Alistair Overeem. In the first round, he presses forward and lands a leg kick and then a straight right, but he gets hit with the overhand right, and then he starts to back up. He breaks his clinch attempt from Alistair. He stalks forward and lands his own jab, but then he gets hit with another overhand right from Alistair, and then he gets hit with the uppercut, but he lands a counter left as Overeem blitzes forward, and he's able to drop, slip, I don't know, kind of look like a slip, but whatever. He swarms him on the ground, hits him with a lot of punches. He gets back, Overeem gets back to his feet. He lands a right hand and then a knee to the body on the fence, and then he lands a flurry on the fence. And then the second round, he lands a jab as Overeem comes forward. He presses forward and lands combinations. He presses forward and lands a 1-2 again, and then he rocks him up against the fence. And then they're out in the open, and then he gets the knockout with a jab and then a left hook. And, you know, he picked his shots, was patient, hit Overeem a lot, didn't get hit too much, didn't tire himself out, looked pretty good. Take a look at the betting line. Volkov plus 125, Cyril Gane minus 155. Two high-level heavyweights. I think it's a coin flip. I think the line is reasonable here. You know, I'm really on Gane right now. I think he fights very smart. And, you know, he doesn't have the best wrestling, but he has it. And Volkov's weakness is wrestling. He can break it out if he needs to. I think he's going to be able to clinch him up against the fence at the very least and slow him down and then pick his shots, jab him, and get out of the way. I think he'll outpoint him. My pick here is Cyril Gane. For watching my video, you know, sorry I'm losing, but, you know, I really feel good about this card. I did some research. There's some good spots, some good underdog money here. It's an exciting card. You know, not the most star-studded card, but we know we get two fun heavyweight scraps, and the main event's pretty important for the heavyweight division, which, you know, with John Jones in the mix and Ngannou, you know, it's kind of the most exciting division. And, you know, this is an appetizer. Skip a week, and then a week after that, you got McGregor versus Poirier 2. It's going to be huge. That's a star-studded card. So, you know, it's a fun fight card. Get a little break, and then, you know, the biggest card of the year, I think. You know, it's a great time to be a fight fan, you know. There's always new developments with the fights being signed and everything, and, you know, championship fights are always being made. You know, it's a great time. Please leave a comment down below, negative or positive. I want to hear your feedback. I want to talk to some of you guys, actually all you guys. I want to get into a discussion, a debate, you know. Let's try and make some picks together, you know. Maybe you can help me out. I can help you out. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever. Link will be below. Thank you guys. Thanks for riding with me. We're going to turn around, win some money. It's going to be a fun summer of fights. Let's get the money, baby.